Hello everybody and welcome back to RogueTech, where I guess we've got a bit of a hold put on the difficulty rating because the latest patch that just came out yesterday as of this video releasing actually has a change to difficulty ratings where it will now just base it off of the last 8 mechs you dropped rather than the entire mech bay. Now, I don't know that this is actually going to change our problem, but I'll give it a chance and see if there's any other changes. I mean, fundamentally, I think that the problem is that our lances are being underrated. So I don't think that it's going to change anything, but it will be interesting to find out. Let's go ahead and tick forward 3 days to get our mechs back. There we go. And let's hop into the barracks, do any training that we might need to do. And let's see what is available here.
Yes, Commander.
Hello! Rank 10 gunnery for Coma. Always great to see. And what else?
Yes, Commander.
Oh, that was some piloting for Muffin Top. Sure.
Tech warrior training complete.
Waiting for orders.
Anybody else?
Yes, Commander.
Not Poet, shockingly.
Commander.
Actually, I don't think we've been
Commander.
deploying Poet, so maybe not all that shocking, now that I think about it. Okay, so that's everything there. Let's hop over to the command center and see if we can find some
Hey,
challenge.
Commander, pull up a chair.
The answer to that is no. At least not really. Here's a 2 million sea biller. Here's another one, but the same salvage. This one's slightly higher pay. 2.2 million. This is only 3 SCO. But usually I find that the max pay is the better indicator of how difficult the mission is than the actual skulls. So let's just run this one and see how it goes. This is a battle, and this is in a Martian territory, so things are still going to be a little bit on the spicy side for us. There's no free priority salvage here whatsoever. So we're going to run it straight down the middle. Sounds great to me. We have a lot of cash, and I think we just deploy everything as is. Let's do this. Yeah, the Awesome's slightly underweight. It's fine. It's completely fine. Yeah, still only 2.5 pips for our Lance rating. I really feel like it should be higher than that. Maybe it's doing that because of, like, maybe it's doing that because of, like, sensor systems, battle computers, things like that. I've kind of deliberately steered away from using those because I feel like our hit odds are good enough. And I don't want to make this too easy. Like, I'm playing RogueTech for the challenge, right? If I wanted this to be easy, I'd still be playing vanilla game. I mean, RogueTech has a lot more content, too. Like, a lot more weapon systems, a lot more mechs and vehicles, and a lot more features. But, I mean, I could turn down the difficulty in the game options as well. I should look into turning up the difficulty there, but I really think that the company rating is the problem. I think that we should probably consider going back to planet rating difficulty. I feel like that's a lot more controllable.
Online. Sensors online. Weapons online. All
I kind of rambled on throughout the entire loading screen. Regardless, this isn't a very interesting loading screen. We just need to destroy pirate units, and it's the mission of Mercy Line, and we've seen that before, so let's just go on through.
Command interface initiated.
Excellent. This is the area where the pirate units were spotted, and do we have allies? We do not. Pirates are up over here, it looks like. Up on this ridge, we would have access to all of this cover in the tornadoes. We'd also be able to drop LOS over here. We will be skylined, but in the tornadoes, I think that that is really good. Let's go ahead and deploy here. We're not going to get any round 1 firings, but honestly, that's kind of for the best.
Let's do this.
Like, we don't have sensors
Let's
round
get
1,
fighting.
so it's all good. We'll move up and take cover in the tornadoes, assuming that it lets us. Yep, I just want to make sure. It does increase stability damage taken, but they do provide cover. Yep. So up goes the Corsair, and we're just going to sprint up this hill a little bit. We are expecting the pirate units to be up over this way.
Affirmative.
There's an enemy
On
contact.
the move.
Okay.
Moving to position.
And in round 2,
Copy.
Ooh, we see a heavy bomber out there. That's a Nidhogg. What else do we see? Technically, this is round 3 now. They got to move twice. Unfortunate, but we see a Marauder, we see a Nidhogg, and that's kind of it for right now.
I await your command.
The Awesome is going to move up here. The Nidhogg needs to be our primary target right now. We do see a Bola that had a stealth field generator, as well as a Mongoose. This is not very frightening, in all honesty. But man, look at those hit odds compared to the Nidhogg. I want to check here. Long range target moved. Oh yeah, it has 6 evasive hits. That would do the trick. And the Bola didn't move at all last round. So yeah, I think that we just go for it here. This is potentially a kill.
Going up and
We did miss with one of those PPCs, which means that that is not a kill.
heat is cooking my internal structure.
The Orion can move up over here.
Aye, aye.
It does not have an LOS on the Bola. So instead, I feel like we do have to fire on the Nidhogg, although these hit odds are not terrible. We do expect the Nidhogg to have AMS, but we should be able to overwhelm it here. Actually threw armor already.
Critical hit, Commander.
Bit surprising there.
How's it going?
We did get a crit on it too. We're going to move up with our Salamander.
Roger.
And the Salamander, it's going to look for the shoot down on the Nidhogg. Absolutely. It may not succeed. These hit odds aren't great, and this was the turret that we got through the armor on. So we'll see what happens.
Affirmative.
What's that 100 damage? 94 damage? What's all that 94 damage? What? That looked really weird. But we didn't shoot it down.
Standing by.
I don't know what we were allegedly damaging there. Very strange. We're going to move up with the Mad Cat Mark II, and the Mad Cat Mark II does not have LOS over there. That's fine. The Battle Master is going to hop up over here. And we're going to pot shot, actually probably at the Bola. The Nidhogg is, I feel like, still too far away to really do a lot of damage. That said, it could probably close into about here next round, and that could do some damage, for sure. I'm going to risk it. We're going to go for the Bola. That's a kill.
Enemy down.
Excellent.
Yeah?
Now, the Corsair is going to step forward over here.
Heading out.
Its only real target is the Nidhogg. We'll see if we continue to see those crazy numbers. $105. That's a crazy number, all right. It seems to just be a display bug. It's not actually doing 105 damage. It actually did the correct amount.
Aye,
I'm
aye.
not sure why we're getting huge internal numbers,
We'll go.
but okay. Now, we can't really fire this in artillery mode or flak mode, so we'll have to just lob some LRMs and hope for the best. It was not the best.
Waiting on you, Commander.
The Boar's Head, on the other hand, can move up over here, and it can fire in flak mode. So that should... Well, that won't necessarily be a shoot down, but it should be a decent chance at one.
This should be good.
Sniper artillery completely failing, but that's a shoot down. Oh, I like how it fell apart there. That was neat. I don't think that's new, but that was neat. The Marauder moves up over this way. In fact, moves out of our LOS there, and then the Mongoose comes on forward. Shoots at the Awesome, but it appears to be like streak SRMs, and it missed. We're going to have our Salamander walk down over here.
Acknowledged.
And the Salamander is going to go for the Mongoose. We actually do kind of expect this to be a kill. Well, maybe not on 40% hit odds. It's going to do a lot to the Mongoose, though.
Locked on.
That's a kill, I think. Oh, yeah.
Tango down.
Excellent.
Good to go.
The Orion is out of line of sight of the Marauder over there. And really, we're just going to sprint
Got it.
over here.
No shooting, just running.
Ready for orders.
The Awesome is also out of LOS. It's going to cool off a bit.
Waiting for orders.
Mad Cat Mark II, no LOS, obviously. Why would it have LOS? That is not going to be a thing for a bit.
Oh boy.
Battlemaster
Here
heading on
goes.
out of here. Cooling off.
Awaiting orders.
Now, the Bull Shark is going to lob a long tom. For sure. We would love to strip some armor off of this Marauder.
Confirmed.
Kaboom. Excellent.
I hear ya.
The Boar's Head moves on up. And we're actually going to fire artillery with that as well. Naturally. There we go.
All weapons.
I didn't look at how much of an overheat that was. I should have. But that is basically half of the Marauder's armor gone right there. And a knockdown. Now, we can't really take advantage of that knockdown.
Getting pretty hot in here, Commander.
But the Corsair can sprint forward a little bit
Understood. Moving
and
fast.
drop its heat. There we go. Now, the Marauder gets right back up, and I'm okay with this. Like I said, we can't take advantage of that knockdown. Not at this current position. It moves into the radiation field,
Let's
looks like.
hit 'em hard.
Okay. The Awesome is going to sprint up this hill here. We're trying to establish line of sight, but we're going to need to climb this ridge a bit. We'll lob a couple LRMs at the Marauder, though, and that's actually internal damage. Fantastic.
This just in. Critical.
What's up, boss?
The Orion is also going to sprint forward
Understood.
and lob
Moving
some
fast.
LRMs into that same weak arc.
Stop.
That was quite a lot of internal damage, actually.
That hit something good.
I believe it.
Passing by.
We don't know what it hit, but it hit something.
On it.
We'll lob a couple ATMs. Nice, another crit. We don't know what it crit, but we
Solid
know it
connection
crit.
on that one.
What do you need?
The Corsair, of course, is direct fire only, but we can actually get a direct LOS here. Shockingly. Let him up. And that we're not seeing crazy numbers on. We didn't on the Bola either. That was only on the Nidhogg, actually.
Scored a critical hit.
And I'm guessing that
Watch
was
those
just a
levels.
display bug.
I'm healed.
Probably they're going to fix that soon. This new version still seems to be under pretty active development, so we're going to move up with our Battlemaster, and we're going to fire on the Marauder here, right into their weak side. This could easily be a kill. But with those hits, probably not.
Critical hit, Commander.
Indeed.
Standing by.
Bull Shark is going to step forward and drop
the move.
additional artillery in over here. This could easily kill.
Target locked.
And there we go. That's literally it. Like, that was a 2.2 million.
Mech destroyed.
Mission successful.
That was very easy. I don't know about that being a 2.2 million, if I'm honest. However, this does give us an opportunity. And that opportunity is to rework the Mauler a little bit. We've got plenty of cash, and that's fine. I want to rethink the role of the Mauler, because we've been fighting a lot of long-range engagements, and the Mauler is just not well-suited to that at all. And I have a feeling that as we continue to work up the difficulty, especially if we switch over to planet difficulty, I have a sneaking suspicion that we are going to very, very quickly want to do a lot of long-range firing. So let's go ahead and get rid of, actually, AMS Flare is good to have around, but we do have 4 of those. Medium lasers, we'll actually keep those. We only have 3. Snub-nosed PPC, same. 4 double heat sinks, I like it. Recon sensors, we're keeping. Basic sensors, get out of here. And safe machine gun ammo, we don't actually have any of that, so that is fine. But yeah, we've got time in this episode, so I want to rethink the combat role on the Mauler. The Mauler was great when it can fire, but most of the time, it wasn't very useful. So to that end, we need to either upgrade the engine in it, or we need to make the weapons longer range, and both of those options kind of have the same effect. That said, I've been really feeling the LRMs doing a lot of work, particularly from the Orion. So that's kind of what I'm thinking, is we have it be kind of an in-place upgrade to the Orion. Maybe. We took no damage, by the way. No damage at all. So let's hop into the mech bay here, and I definitely do want to get some work done on this Mauler. I love the build, right? I just don't think it fits well into our combat doctrine that we've got going on here. So, let's take a look. We've got the dual LBX AC-20s. Now, we need to keep in mind, this thing has one missile hardpoint, and that's it. We've got the 2 laser hardpoints in each of these arms here, though. And I have a feeling those may end up being our primary weaponry. We're going to drop all of our ammo. I do want to keep that AMS for now. Let's go ahead and max out the armor. We'll drop the SRM-6. We have a light engine in this right now, and that's an engine core 270. No wonder this thing's pretty slow. We're running double heat sinks. We could think about ferrofibrous armor and endosteel structure if we have the slottage for it. I would also like to potentially put in like sensor sentinels, although recon sensors do the same thing without the tonnage, I think. Actually, let's check that. Recon sensors are... Okay, so sensor sentinel is 5% increased sensor range and 5% increased sight range. It takes 3 tons and 2 slots. Compare that to the clan sensors, which does the same thing for 1 ton, or the recon sensors, which does the same thing for 1 ton and 1 slot. I mean, there's probably some other things in there, but I'm just going based on this text and not on the full tooltip. For now, we're just going to plop in some clan sensors. And I would also love to put in a clan cockpit, perhaps. There we go. Now, I want these ballistic weapons to be extremely long range. Like, we're talking AC-2 ranges, max of 960. HVAC is actually 1500. That could work. Do we have HVAC 2 ammo? So we put in an HVAC 2 into each of these. Now, I don't think that these are particularly tonnage efficient. Don't get me wrong. This is purely for the range advantage. Do we have HVAC ammo? If we don't, I mean, we may have, we may want to rethink this anyway. Like I said, it's not tonnage efficient, but it is a very long range. I don't think we have HVAC ammo, so we'll drop those off of there. Let's see. I mean, there's light AC-2s, but no, those aren't good. LBX AC-2s, maybe? They actually weigh a ton less than the HVAC, and they have 1080 max range. That's pretty good. It's not tremendous. We could go with, like, UAC-5s, but that's getting into, like, Battlemaster territory. We could make more artillery. I don't think that's a great idea. AP Gauss rifles are not great range. Gauss rifles are actually still a little shorter than I'd like to see here. I suppose we could go... No, that's not really what I'm looking for. I do want to have something like large, like ER large lasers or something along those lines in the arms, and that is going to be pretty heat intensive. But if we went like quad ER large lasers, what is the actual range on those? 840? It's okay. Be sure. So yeah, you can see the heat efficiency just plummeting there. So we do something like that, and then we would have the missile weapon. I would love for this to be a clan LRM-20. That's not really a great option, so we're going to go for a Zeus instead. And we don't have an FCS in this thing. We could put an Arrow 4 FCS, or we could put in an energy accuracy FCS for those ER large lasers. Or maybe a bit more of a generic FCS. I don't really have a generic FCS, so I think we're going to go for the... energy accuracy here. We may drop the LRM-20 if we have too many weight considerations, but I think we're going to be doing okay on the weight front. Let's go down to our LRMs here, and I would like for these to be... I mean, I don't really want to go with the extended range. I don't want FTL here. I think that we're just going to go with standard LRM ammo. 270 shots. So in LRM 20, this would be like 13 rounds of ammo per 2 tons. That's not bad. So we put in like the LRM ammo there. That should be plenty. And then we have 6.5 tons to work with for the ballistic weapons. Now that includes ammo. So if we assume 2 tons for ammo, then we've got 4.5 tons to work with. That's not very much for ballistic weapons. Ballistic weapons are pretty heavy. Especially long-range ballistic weapons. An ELRM 20 is 14 tons. We do have a Clan LRM 10. That is way less tonnage than the LRM 20 Zeus. We're going to downgrade that, and then I think that means this is now 27 turns per ammo, or 27 turns of ammo for that LRM 10. We're never going to run out of LRM ammo. We may even want to downgrade this to a 1 ton. How much would that actually be? That would be 12 turns of ammo. Yeah, that's fine. That's plenty of ammo, in my opinion. And now we have 15 tons to work with here. That is much, much better. I would still love to put the HVAC 2s in. Like, if we had the ammo, this would be what I'd do. And then we'd have, like, 1 ton of ammo, but that's not going to be a thing. We could just go with AC2s. There's a light AC2s as well. What's the range on a mag shot? 360? Yeah, not great. I'm not shocked about that. Same as the AP Gauss rifle. Ideal scenario would be like dual Gauss rifles. That's kind of not really what we're looking for, though, with this particular mech. And we need to keep in mind that we need more heat dropping as well. We could easily put on something like heavy ferro armor to save us some weight, but we're also going to need slottage here. So, how many heat sinks do we want to put on this thing? Well, that's spicy. That's actually very spicy. With the quad ER large lasers, yeah. I should have thought of that. Definitely should have thought of that one. What we could do, instead, drop the ER large lasers, or drop 2 of the ER large lasers, and instead put on ER PPCs. That's more heat and more tonnage. I don't know that that's a fantastic trade-off, but maybe we do that instead of running the ballistic hardpoints. We could. 840 and 840. The ER large lasers are also 840. There's also a Clan ER PPC here, which we should probably run for heat purposes. A Clan ER PPC there, and then an ER PPC. What is the difference between Magna and Tigert? Has a recoil of 2? Yeah. Reduced weight, increased recoil, increased heat. Okay, so we could put like the Magna over here. That does have an additional slot. Yeah, if we did this, then we would be able to put in another pair of double heat sinks. Like so. And then looking at our heat sinks here, we could put in potentially an engine heatsink if we were to upgrade our engine here. And we would upgrade that from a 270 up to, I don't know, like a 280? Which would allow us to put in an engine heatsink plus 1. That could work. We still need additional heat reduction, though. And that's tough. That's really tough. If we were on clan double heat sinks, it would be fine. But we don't have any clan double heat sinks. We have a clan double heat sink kit, but that doesn't help. The light engine does put us overweight. Frees up some slots. It's actually not tremendously overweight. Fascinating. I'm not sure what it's doing right now. Okay, there we go. It's just trying to drag the engine to a really awkward place. Okay, sure. So that's the light engine off. We're barely overweight right now, but if we were to put on the additional heat sinks that I would want, it would be like that. That puts us 2 tons overweight. However, what if we dropped the ER PPCs again and went back to the large laser idea? So go down to the ER large laser here. Like so. That gives us almost a ton to work with. And our heat efficiency is better. In fact, we could just drop firing one of our ER large lasers. And that should put us heat negative. I feel like this kind of works. It's definitely longer ranged. And it moves a little faster. Maybe. Maybe. The real question is, what do we do with that extra ton? If we were able to move around these slots, I would love to put it into a heatsink. But we need 3 slots in one location. Where do we get that? Or, instead, do we put something else on? We could. We could put on, like, a light AA missile rack. I don't know that that's really... Well, I mean, anti-air is pretty important to us, actually. Let's do it. Let's put some anti-air on that. And then we still have an additional 5 tons of specialist slots available. So we could put in, I don't know, something like... Not a light tag, but... Hammer Fist or B-Pod. We could put in a B-Pod, actually. That would work. And would work reasonably well. We still have some tonnage to sink, though, and we could just toss in another ton of LRM ammo. Give it, like, surface-to-air missiles? To be able to specifically target enemy bombers. Like that. That could work. Sure, it's a bit of a downgrade on paper, but I think in reality it will be much, much more useful for us. So we'll go ahead and validate that, get that going, and that is great. And with that, it is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we are going to get ourselves our mech warriors back and deploy again. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and I will see you all next time.